assignment 1, I chose to modify and alter one of my child development lessons on the topic of heredity versus environment. I chose to flip this lesson because I wanted to provide my students more time with the coordinating project that I'm going to be talking to you about in just a moment. I would have the students on their own time listen to the PowerPoint, go through the notes, use their guided note sheets as means to follow along with the VoiceThread presentation that I have created. That would be the plan. I also created this coordinating worksheet to have the students follow along with. So it's very simple, it's concise. I included visuals and pictures. As we've learned previously, this can help in allowing our students, especially ELLs, to make real-world connections. So as they go through the PowerPoint and listen, I would have them write. So right there we're including two of the important language domains, which are listening and also writing. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint that the students would be viewing, and as I would go through the various slides and explain and give thorough examples, they would be following along. In a few minutes, I'm going to walk you through a project that goes along and is directly linked with the content being taught in this presentation. I would explain to my students that both heredity and environment both play a role in influence, growth, and development. And then I would have my students go through these various examples, and using their coordinating worksheet, they would fill out whether they think the characteristic or trait represents a heredity or an environmental trait. They could also write down both too. Just going to walk you through a couple. So in the VoiceThread presentation that I had created for these students, the students would be seeing these various characteristics, and I would give them ample time to go through, as providing students time, especially ELLs, is extremely important to allow them to process. I got just a few more here. So these are just different ideas, different examples that they could use in the upcoming project I'm about to show you. I'm going to actually pull up the original assignment that we've formally done in the class, and it's called My Childhood in a Box. So following the flipped lesson in class, I would have them be a part of this fun interactive project where they get to explore their heredity and also their environment. These two elements play a role in influencing a child's growth and development. So we talk about the importance of nature versus nurture. The students are then responsible for bringing in a shoebox and going through magazines and finding words, pictures, phrases that best represents their nature versus nurture characteristics. They're also expected to bring in 5 items to best represent successes they've experienced as a child, places they've enjoyed visiting, or any other object that provided them with a pleasant childhood memory. So this is the original project that my students have done, and I actually have pictures of this original project. So up here on the slide here, as you can see, it's called Childhood in a Box 1.0, so this is an old version. And this is just the sample that I created for my students to see prior to having them create their own. And we are planning on adjusting this project so that it's electronic. So I've been really exploring with Glogster, and actually that's what I used to prepare my final digital presentation. That's where I stored all of my element assignments. So it kind of acted as an online portfolio. So I've gotten really familiar with this. I know that students would be really drawn to this program because it's very eye appealing. They can get creative with it. It's a lot easier to find pictures to best represent their heredity and environment. While creating this example that you see here on the screen, it was incredibly easy to find what I was looking for. In years past, students have commented on how difficult it is to find pictures and words through magazines that best represents these different traits. So I definitely think the students are going to be excited about this. To promote the 4 language domains in this flipped lesson, I would have the students type out the different words or phrases or different things that they've included in their Glogster to promote the writing, also their spelling skills. I would also have my students create voiceovers to practice their speaking skills as well. They're also listening. So as students prepare their Glogsters, I would then have them present them in front of the class. So listening will also be encouraged during the presentation portion of this assignment. I plan on incorporating this into my child development class here in the near future, as we are currently discussing infant growth and development, so this would be our next topic. I do plan on adjusting this project so it is a Glogster rather than a box project. I know in the past students have had difficulty finding a shoebox at home, bringing in the shoebox, remembering it. So this would really help in alleviating some of those issues. I would definitely give my students more time. So the purpose of having my students view the information, the content at home, would be to give them more opportunity in the classroom. Creating the Glogster, I think, is very organized. It allows the kids to keep everything neat and concise. Again, they're able to make those real world connections because they're finding pictures, they're finding different videos to best represent them. So this is my plan for my Nature versus Nurture project. I hope it goes well, and I plan on adjusting many of my lessons so that they're technology based, and as learned previously through SciOp and some of the different elements that go along with SciOp, allowing students to be creative, including multimedia, allowing them to work in partnerships. Those are all just different ways that you can let your kids explore and allow for more enhancement in their literacy skills and also their language skills. So I hope you enjoyed listening to my future plan for my child development class. Thank you very much.